everybody, welcome back to the Cool Kitchen. We're back at Helen's Bay Community Garden. We're inside the polytunnel. It's nice and warm here. It's getting autumn, it's getting to the end of the season, and everything can be harvested now. And we want to show you the three sisters that we planted. The three sisters are sweet corn, squash and beans. And together, when they're planted, they are a perfect example of companion planting. So all the plants do something for each other, and I will show you what you can do in the kitchen with them. So here's our sweet corn, just starting to ripen now. I'll pick one of these, and it's really easy to pick sweet corn. You just pull it off and try not to destroy the plant, and you just peel off the leaves and you will find beautiful gold cobs underneath. We've got a number of different courgettes and squash plants growing inside here, so I'll pick a selection. I've got a green zucchini here. Looks a bit like it's a cigar, and they will make a lovely addition to the risotto. These long dangly things are called runner beans. Now they're not always that common in shops, but they are fantastic in the garden as they produce these really long beans. And they taste fantastic. They taste just like French beans and are really cool to look at. So I'm going to pick a few of these. So I've harvested all we need for our three sisters risotto. I've got 2 cobs of sweet corn, a few runner beans, and a few different types of squash and courgettes. So these long neck yellow squash, green courgettes, and even a tiny pumpkin. So we'll all use these for the risotto. I'm just peeling off the sides of the runner beans because they can be a bit stringy at times. So just run down, peel it like this on both sides and you'll be fine. And don't forget to take off the ends as well. So here we have all our ingredients for three sisters risotto. What we'll need first, of course, is to make a sofrito. So we'll first sweat some onions, carrots and celery. So I've got them chopped here already. And from our polytunnel we have our sweet corn, our runner beans and our different types of squash. Now they will be the main stars of the dish. And then we also have, very importantly, our stock to put into the risotto and our risotto rice. You have to use risotto rice or an equally good rice, which gets very creamy when you cook it. Now I'm going to show you how to prepare the sweet corn for my risotto. I'm taking off the outer leaves, and you'll see in a few moments that the sweet corn is nice and yellow underneath. It's a bit of a hassle, obviously, but it's just really fresh and sweet. So I'm taking off all the green bits and everything which isn't yellow, obviously, discarding it or putting it in the compost. And then you take a knife and you can run down the length of the sweet corn to just get the edible stuff, basically. So here we go. A bit tough sometimes, but it should work quite nice if you have a sharp knife. And this you can just put into the risotto and be really good and sweet. Making a risotto is actually pretty straightforward. For a lot of people it seems like quite difficult, but you just have to remember a few very important steps, and then it's really easy. And it's one of those dishes you should really know how to make, especially if you're vegetarian, because you can make so many different risottos using incredibly versatile vegetables. So I'm going to start now with the sofrito. So the sofrito is the carrots, the onions and the celery, and it gives the risotto its body, its really intense flavor. So you're just going to sweat the sofrito, the celery, carrots and onions in a saucepan. Just put some oil in there and just put it on sort of medium heat so it can sweat nice and slowly for 5 minutes, and then we'll show you the rest. I'm adding our pumpkin now to give it a bit more color, to brown it up and give it great flavor. Just keep an eye on your vegetables, your sofrito, while it's sweating so it doesn't burn. And when the onion has become translucent, you can add in all the other ingredients. Now tradition has it that you add the rice before adding the stock, so that's what I'm going to do now. You just stir it and fry it a bit. And normally you would also add a bit of wine, but I don't think it's that necessary, so I'm not going to do it for this recipe. Now I'm going to take the stock. The rice has been frying for a few minutes, so I'm just going to pour it in until it covers everything. And now you just have to keep an eye on it and add in more stock when you see that it's getting drier and drier. But it will take about 15 to 20 minutes, so you just constantly have to add a bit of stock and stir. And I'm also going to add in the rest of our ingredients now because they need a bit of cooking. Our risotto has been bubbling away now, and a good idea to do before you serve your risotto is to check if the rice is cooked. So just take a fork or whatever, just take a bit of rice if you can get it out, and try it. And if it's cooked, not to add any stock anymore, and just to put down the temperature. And at the end we'll add some cheese and some butter. Now you don't have to add cheese, I find, but I find with this recipe adding some pecorino cheese at the end really gives it a nice flavor. The final touches are a knob of butter, so you just mix that in. That gives it a lovely creaminess, glossy look and a really sweet flavor. And finally, our pecorino cheese. Also a good tip, sometimes maybe you've had risotto which was way too dry or way too liquid. So to see if it's just right, the right consistency and creaminess, you can go and see if it parts well, and if you see the bottom of your saucepan, and if you can see it properly, and if it parts like the Red Sea, it's perfect. Here's our final dish. It looks absolutely beautiful. It's nice and creamy. And look at those colors. Now I'm gonna have a taste and try the different vegetables. A bit of pumpkin here. Mm. It's really good and sweet. And the sweet corn. Mmm. So sweet. Mmm. And just a good bean flavour from the runner beans. It's such a good, you know, dish. Just really heartwarming, perfect for this time of the year. And an incredible, you know, thing that you can do with the three sisters. So I hope you like this video and I hope that you will give it a go.